Welcome into another episode of C Red's Power Hour featuring me and in 7K Rion Vision. I'm Steve, of course. That's C Red, the urban sensation. And joining us tonight is quite possibly the busiest human being in America. Social media, wherever you see him, the man does not stop. I don't think the man sleeps. It is our good friend, and you know who he is, Vito Thomaselli. Vito, welcome to the Power Hour.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here. We planned this. It seemed like 100 years ago. Then all of a sudden it was here. It was like, wow, here we are. Mm-hmm.
First of all, before Red gets down memory lane and takes the next half hour showering you with the many accolades that Red does, and it's brilliant. Yeah. I got to give you some thanks too, because we talk about it sometimes on this program. I'm on my own journey, and you helped me with a little bit of dietary advice. And it worked out really well for me. And it's something that I've continued, and I've seen the benefit. And, you didn't have to, but you did. And I'll forever be grateful for that assist, because I had hit a wall and you helped me get over that wall and move on to the next chapter. So I'm personally indebted to you. Not that I don't love talking to you anyway about other stuff, but now I feel like I'm personally vested.
Well, you know what, man? I mean, thanks for saying it. I help a lot of people in weird ways, but they help me the same way, right? Like, I feel like a lot of people they'll thank me. Oh, thank you for this advice. Or like you just did, But it's like, but when I get off the phone with you or I get off a messenger with you, like, I'm more focused on my day now for it, like, because I got to live up to it, man. I'm not a guy that just sells snake oil, right? Like, I'm up doing it. I'm at 3:30 in the morning running my neighborhood. My neighborhood calls me the neighborhood watch. They know me and my dog. They post about us on Facebook. Like, they know about like we're in it, But like like you said at the beginning, it is everyone's on their own journey. I think we're learning a lot about people, and what we need out of life. And I could tell just a little bit through the camera. You look like you lost a good amount of weight from the last time that we had a conversation.
I'm down about 105 in about the last calendar year. So I still got
sixth grader.
Still got a long way.
I mean, that's like somebody going to junior high. You just wipe that person off your body. That's incredible. Like, you say that because you did it every day. So you lost a pound here, then 5 pounds in a week, and then 13 pounds in a month. But man, stop. That's incredible. Like, 105 pounds, man. Wow.
I appreciate that. And like I said, the fasting, the first couple of days, it was a little challenging, but once I got on a roll, it became automatic, and I learned how to meal prep, and I learned how to do things a little differently. It was changing the mindset. So that's what I got from you. You taught me how to change my mindset, and that was a lesson I very desperately needed. So I subscribe to what you're selling, whether it be snake oil or otherwise. But I want to talk.
Hold on, wait. You know what? I want to touch on that one thing. You know what I'm selling, man? I'm selling you on you.
And I needed
I don't want you to be me, and I don't want you to be as good as me or as bad as me or anything in between. Because I'll tell you what, man, no one gets up and starts the day like I do. That's in my mind. So nobody competes with me because nobody's up. No one's ready. I run out my door. The minute my feet hit my driveway, I have to be in jog. That's part of my day, or I didn't start it right. And I know it sounds silly, but but I didn't start that way, right? I started just by getting my ass out this door every day and just started that way. I say a 10-minute walk changes your life. If you do 10 minutes every day, it'll change your life. Because in reality, you'll never do 10 minutes. You'll always do an hour, or you find the right playlist and you'll do it 2 hours, or that one day you want to do a little extra to go for 5 miles. And then you're like, I walked 5 miles. Like, how'd that happen?
That is absolutely accurate. I've done that myself. So yes, that is you think I'm going to go out 15 minutes, and next thing you know, it's 35 minutes, and you feel a little bit better about your day and a little bit better about yourself. So that's it's mindset. And I think that's key. Muscle and Fitness Magazine. I have been following this story since April. Every day I go on there. Every day I hit my little free vote, and I'm watching the proceedings. Kind of bring us up to speed on not only what this is, but how you're doing.
Yeah. So Muscle and Fitness, they did this thing. I think they did it back in 2017. I didn't look past much of that. And what it was Mrs. Health and Fitness is what they call it. So what that is you get your social media. They don't want famous people, but they want people that can push through social media. So I kind of fall in this really unique space, right? Like I was in the wrestling business. I got out of the wrestling business, and then I got in the podcasting world and then the Juggalo world. And I had this like weird base of fans that are just like, they're just cool. They're cool people. I don't know if Ron, can we mute Ron? He's in my ear. Whatever that mess of noise is, I can't listen.
Got
There
him.
we go. Perfect.
He'll log in and we'll get him.
Yeah. So, I should probably jump back just a hair further. Sal Thomaselli, my tag team partner, brother, one of my best friends in the world. Him and I have been meeting every Sunday for almost 9 months now. And we were meeting just with the idea of like, what's life today? How's this today? Can we organize this way? And then before we knew it, we started going down this path. And part of it was, God, I can go so many ways with this. I apologize. Ask me the question one more time because I veered too hard, too fast.
I just want to know kind of what it's all about, what you kind of told us.
Muscle and fitness. Okay, I'm sorry. So Sal presented it to me and he said, look, they're doing this thing. You fit perfectly into it. See what happens. So they gave you 143 characters to get in, right? So 143, like the old Twitter, right? So I wrote, former athlete, divorced, turned alcoholic, got fat, gained 80 pounds, 70 pounds, quit drinking, lost, 80 pounds, got fit, I own me. And I got an email right away and it said, hey, we like this, you're in. So I thought, okay, I almost thought kind of anybody gets in, and they do. And pretty much anybody gets in until later is when it really matters, because they want good stories, right? Because they got to do it. Ultimately, the winner gets a 2-page cover story on Muscle and Fitness. So as it launches, there's groups of however many groups there are of 35 people to start. I don't know all the groups. I didn't look that deep into it, but there's all these groups. Well, in my group, I launch and I'm number 2nd within a few hours because I put it right away and my public went to it. I was like, okay. Then I really put it out there. I messaged people in it, which I never do, but probably like, hey, can you do this? Hey, and I really started doing the work, and it shot me to number 1. And I was number 1 like the first 8 days or so, and to the point that I kind of not forgot, but I wasn't pushing it as hard. And I learned. I woke up the next day and the guy behind me jumped in front of me, and I haven't looked back since. And it's been a dogfight between him and I. So this Thursday, it goes from the top 10 now that I'm in to the top 5 of my group. The June 2nd, it goes to that 4. And the 4 of us it goes to the 1. It leaves 1 person left over in this current group that I'm in. And then everybody that's number 1 in all the groups go into one pile. And then now there's 4 groups, smaller groups. And then that goes over another 3 weeks. But I'm sorry, the next 3 6-day shifts. So it goes 6 days and then votes again, and all the scores reset. So all the points I've been accumulating. When I get to June 2nd, June 3rd, all my points are a wash.
So we got to get back after it.
Well, the key are the warrior votes. And I hate to say the daily votes matter, especially if it's 100 people voting a day, that's 100 votes a day. That's awesome. But on those big days, like today's a double vote day, right? So what that means is you go to a warrior vote. If you put $5 in, I get 10 votes. Now you think, 10 votes is a lot of votes. It's a lot of votes, right? So what happens is the 2-for-1 votes ends at 11 o'clock tonight. So people that are around me, they'll put $100 down at 9:30 at night, because they don't want me to do the double voting above. Maybe I fell asleep, right? So I'll wake up the next day and they double voted me, and I'm like, God damn it! So I have people watching for me, and it's a rat race. It's a rat race. It's a money rat race. But I am lucky that I have fans and friends and family that are chipping in.
Well, what's the victory? Is it the big story and the cover? Is that the goal, and to get that exposure?
It's $20,000, and I got to be honest, I haven't thought about the money once. I don't care about the money. I mean, I would almost wash it. It doesn't matter to me. The money isn't why I'm doing this. The last 3.5, almost 4 years of my life, I'm not recognizable. I don't just mean it because of the weight loss. If you're around me at all, I'm not the same person at all. Yet I'm exactly the same. It's this weird dichotomy with me, but I do one thing very well, and that's stay focused, which before I was kind of not. I can be scatterbrained. Ask Tony, my partner. I get all over the place, but I'm still focused on what our goals are. So that's mainly what this thing needs to stay over this next week. And I want that cover story, because it's not that I want to tell my story, but I've earned it. I've earned something here. And I feel I've never wanted anything this bad in my whole entire, as a wrestler, I've never thought about myself on a magazine. That was never my WrestleMania moment was not on a magazine. That wasn't what it was to me, but now I have an opportunity to do it. And I can't stop thinking about it. I'm addicted to it. It's in my vision every single day.
So tell the people that are watching what they need to do. Talk about the Warrior Vote.
Yeah.
Tell them where to go. Tell them, I know I see it. You share the link all the time. So
Yeah.
if they follow you on social media, they should know already. But for those that maybe are checking you out for the first time and want to help you out, how do they do it?
Sure. Well, first, anybody that spends any time doing it at all, thank you. I mean, even if you just met me tonight, thank you. It means a lot to me. And that isn't just some softball stuff. I really mean it. What you do is you go to the link on go to Vito's World, Vito's with an S, Vito's World, or / Facebook Vito's World, and you can get my access to my page. Click on any of them. There's millions of them in the last 3 weeks. I post about it all day long. And when you click on it, you're allowed to get a free vote if you have a social media, if you have Instagram or Facebook. But then there's a thing called the Warrior Vote. Why is it a Warrior Vote? Because the sponsor of it is Wounded Warrior. I don't know if they're called the sponsor, but the tag along charity, I guess, is the Wounded Warrior Project, who built homes for veterans coming back from war. A close personal friend of mine, Ben Monty, dealt with this. I believe it was this foundation or one very similar to it that helped him get a home. So, I might not believe in war, and I don't believe in doing any of that, but I 100% believe in supporting the ones that choose to do it. Because we put them in a really weird situation. So this is a good cause. If it was like a Susan G. Komen thing or something around those lines, I might have a little bit harder of a time shoving this thing down everybody's throat every day. Anyways, that's what it's for. You click on it, and then all the money would go donated to that, and every dollar you donate is a point to me. So it's huge. So if you spend your time doing that with me, I would appreciate it. And let's make it happen.
Absolutely. So go to Vito's page, click on the link, hit the free vote, obviously, but the Wounded Warrior program, C-Red being a veteran, it's a worthwhile cause, because any help these people can get that are struggling, that have defended our nation at some point, that's about as worthwhile as it gets. So it's a good cause. You're helping out Vito. You're helping the man live a dream. And this is a guy that helps a lot of other people live their dreams. So let's pay it forward a little bit if we can.
Yeah. Thank you.
C-Red, you've been very quiet. So I'm going to give you, I got much, much more. So don't take 5 minutes here, but go ahead and worship at Temple Oviedo.
Wow.
I mean,
it makes me feel good.
Of course, Vito, first of all, Vito knows how much I love him.
Brothers, man.
From the first time I saw Airborne at Battle of the Belts.
Oh, wow.
2001. There was, so the rumbling was already around about this guy named Airborne, and it was like, Airborne. And again, you've got to remember, I'm military minded. So, for me, I hear Airborne, I'm thinking guys coming out in jump boots, and, he's got a beret on, and none of that,
No.
But I had always followed the Thomasellis. In the chat rooms,
wait, those chat rooms, is that the prime time?
Yeah, that's what the prime time pimp was. Yeah.
I remember he was in my practice. This is 15 years ago or whatever it was, and he was like, "No, I was prime time pimp." Like I remember he said, I was like, "Oh, you were that motherfucker." Okay, like it's time to smack the shit out of you, Mr. Loudmouth. I love Nubby though. Anyways,
we all do, but
prime time pimp.
Vito won my heart. And again, I've said this to his face. I've said it on different shows. When Elite Wrestling was started and I was brought in with Willie, and eventually at some point they were like, "Hey, does Willie have a tag team partner?" And we were like, "Yeah." And Vito was like, "Who is it?" And we were like, "Trauma." He was like, He's like, "We want somebody fresh, somebody different." And it was like, Marche Rocket. Okay, great. So I get Marche on board. And then after that, things just snowballed. Like Vito would say, "This is what I need you guys to cut a promo about." And oh my God, those were the best, funnest, exciting promo. That was one of the reasons why I loved working at Elite, just for the simple fact I knew when we got to the building, we were going to have to cut a promo about something. Didn't know what it was about, But they would just say, we need you to hit this. And we would do it.
Yeah.
And I loved it that they just gave us that opportunity to say, hey, this is, even when I wasn't there, those guys were knocking it out the park. And it was like, this is great. And it was because of Vito, it was because of Ben that they ran the show, that put eyes on us from Mike Quackenbush, that got us to go to the East Coast, that got us exposed to the world. If it wasn't for this man sitting here, we probably never would have been seen. We'd have been just that Chicago fed guys that people, oh yeah, we heard about them. Okay, whatever, you know. But it's because Vito believed in us and gave us that shot, you know. And it was like, okay. And so here's a little fact, Steve, that you don't know. So there was a match in Elite, Soul Touches versus the Thomasellis.
There's a lot of those matches.
Yeah, but this particular match, Vito said, I want you to come in and I'm gonna let you pop me. And it was like, huh? What?
It was the most over spot, one of the most over spots in Elite ever.
Right. But it was just the fact that, like, here's somebody that has traveled, that has been around the country. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that, but he did. Just to give that moment to the crowd to make them say, damn. And it was like, okay. And it was like, I'm grateful for that, because again, Vito, I felt, treated us better than most will ever.
You guys were special.
Because everybody kept saying, okay, whatever. And they saw in us, honestly, what we didn't even see at the time. But as soon as we saw it, it was like, hell, full steam, let's go.
Get out of the way.
And we were gone. But
I still don't know what the Baba Zaba Baba Sai, Baba Zaba Baba Sai. I still don't have I've slowed it down. I've slow motioned it. I gave it to the CIA. I tried to get them to like debunk it. They still don't know what the fuck you guys are saying. I still don't know. But yeah,
the word is you're going to make me buy me some.
You're going to make me buy me some? Okay. Okay. Great. I never knew that.
But we crammed, we changed the letters and just made it one word, and
love it.
I don't know. Funny, because Paulie asked the same question and I didn't know what it was, and now this rings the bell. That's Thomaselli's asking the same question.
I'll say this too, Red. You know, it was us bringing Quack in, or our relationship with Quack, whatever, man. But there was 30 other people on that show, or 25 other people on that show, you know, and he saw it in you guys more than anything else. So like the idea is, I tell a lot of people this, like, you got to put yourself on all these opportunities, because that one guy or gal, person, whatever, is sitting there, you know, and that's the change, right? And I don't mean that's like the one time that you take off, but maybe that's the one person that then invites you to this thing later on, and then you go to this other thing, and then this other thing connects to this other thing, you know. Right place at the right time, because you know what, initially we wouldn't have booked you guys the way it came down. You guys were like already booked with Jensen, and then we kind of had to like make all that work. And out of it, we're like, get rid of all these guys, but who are those guys? And yes, everything about those guys, like yes, but like, let's do this, and let's do this, and let's do this, and then leave them alone, because their personality is, there's so much to their personality that we don't got to do anything. Like how is at this time, I'm 27, 28, how's a 27, 20-year-old white dude with one black person in his high school graduating class, you know, that then moved to California. And that's really my only time I got around other people besides white people telling you, see Red, how to be cool. I didn't have to do that, right? You guys were cool. And it goes back to two different promos that will always stand out to me. One is you guys are all in white and you're in the back, we're outside. I forgot exactly what you guys said, but you guys did something, and what's his name pulls that the fucking toilet paper roll out, or the
okay.
The paper towel roll, yeah, and he was like explaining shit, like, and it was so funny. There was that one, and then when we brought Thomas Walton the third in, and you had a promo about that you're gonna bring your cousin, and you haven't seen him in a while. My nephew, yeah, and you're like, he's big, he's a big dude, and then like when he walked around, it's little Thomas Walton, and the way you guys played that off, I mean, like, I don't know, man, it's 100 years ago to all of us, but Yeah, man, I would say this. Yeah, we helped here, did this or whatever, man, but you showed up. And then when you showed up, you got rebooked. And no one talks about being rebooked. It's one thing to be booked, but the biggest thing is to be rebooked. And I and anybody else over there had nothing to do with that. Nobody. You guys
No,
did.
but again, when
Rebooked.
you guys, and I mean as a whole unit, you know, got that show done. And for us, it was just, hey, we're getting to work in front of the IWA Mid South crowd
Mhm.
before their show.
Yeah.
So for me, and again, I was a fan again before. So I went to IWA Mid South in Highland
Yeah.
and seen, like I tell people, I saw Joe and Daniels and AJ before anybody really knew who they were. I knew who they were from IWA Mid South. So, you know, before Punk blew up, I knew who Punk, like I knew these people. So to work it, I'm like, we get to work in front of that crowd. I'm like, great, and in my head, I'm thinking, hey, maybe we can push some 8x10s. Maybe I can sell some t-shirts. That's all I'm looking for.
Yeah. But no.
And
King of Trios. Here we come.
For Quack to come back, and if I'm correct, like you walked up with him and you were like, hey, this is Mike Quackenbush. She wants to talk to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, oh shit. And I knew who Mike Quackenbush was, but now I'm thinking we getting ready to get our ass ringed because
that's Sam DeCero training. Like what would you have done? Like really, it's like someone thinking they stole something, and like, did you steal something? And you're like, no. Like, why do you feel that way? You're like, I don't know. like you did nothing wrong. There was nothing you should have. You know what I mean? Like that's that Sam DeCero training. It's weird.
Yeah, but we were like, but then to be invited, and it was like, okay, great. And like you said, yeah, we they put in the work in the ring, but again, you guys is you believed in us when nobody else did.
Mm-hmm.
And that will forever mean a lot. I tell people, because of what you guys did, when people like, see red, soul touches, who are y'all? Man, Google me, bitch.
I've heard him say that 15 times this calendar year.
Good. Because for me, it's true. Again, whoever thought that if you Google the soul touches, our shit pops up. Like we're not just some like there's some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, dude, and on a personal level, and we've talked. And we've chatted. Like, dude, you have reached out and been there for me more times than I can count. So it humbles me to know that even Steve, you have that dynamic with Steve. That just shows what kind of person you are today. Not saying that wasn't you then, but again, dude, don't let me put a post up and I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. The one person I know is going to be in my inbox is you, asking me if I'm okay, hey, can we hang? 9 times out of 10, I'm at work. I'm either at work or, it's like, I can't do anything until the weekend. And it's like, but just knowing that you're there, I'm grateful and I'm humbled. Your family has been nothing but great to me. And the crazy part, I've never even met your mother, and I love her. Your father's
awesome.
Your father's sauce, I still love.
Yeah,
I still buy it. If I can find it.
Yeah.
Sal is Sal. It's
Sal, right?
It's Sal.
Uh-huh.
But you and Paulie, are forever. Whether you guys have been beating my butt in the ring or just having a genuine heart and friendship outside the ring, I greatly appreciate it. I think I did like everybody else, and I popped as hard as I could when you were on A&E, and because like you never said, and I get it, you couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, okay, this episode is oh, okay. Because for me, and I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not trying to sound racist, but it seemed like the black episode, right? Like if you watch that episode, right? It seems like the black episode. Like, okay, the black guy, now he's got to call Booker T.
He got to call the other black guy. Right?
Now Booker T's got to call Teddy Long. And I'm like, and because we're trying to find the black guy's dog collar,
right?
You know, and I'm like, oh my God. And then they go to Illinois, and I'm like,
Illinois.
Like, okay. And
like all of a sudden it got real close. Like when it says that, you're like, I know this motherfucker, because you only know so many people. I mean, it's like we all know each other here, you know?
Right. And I'm like, now who do I know? And while I'm wrapping it in my head, who do I know? They knock on your door, and there you are. And it's like, motherfucker, what? You know?
Yeah.
My girl, why are you yelling? Why are you? It's Vito! Vito's on the TV!
That's
you
awesome.
know, and like I was so excited. Other people like had took screenshots and everything. I didn't have time. I'm popping the whole rest of the episode, you know,
Hell
and I'm like,
Fred even messaged me. He's like, "Are you watching this?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Turn this on." So it's
I'm like, Vito is on, like, but
it's wild.
I get happy to see people I know get opportunity. Like people think I'm one of these people that I want to hold people back or I don't wish good on. I want
anybody that thinks that about you has no idea with you, and they've never spent even a half a second around you.
I'm like, I want if everybody I know could succeed, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. Like when Marche is doing this thing, I'm happy, you know, like the cat's doing it, you know. I'm like, I got young kids under my wing now. I want them to go succeed. If they leave and say, hey, AEW or somebody called and we're bye, see ya. My road eventually will come to an end.
Everybody's. That's the one guarantee we have in life, man.
You know, but I want other people to succeed. So when I see friends of mine succeed and are happy in life, hell, you know, every day ain't shiny over here. But when I get to see good people like you have great moments, that brings a little bit more sunshine in my life.
Hell yeah.
Know?
I appreciate that.
You know, I'm just happy for you, bro. And again, you sitting up here and he, you know, he talked about he lost 80 pounds. I'm like, where? It
was on my belly, dude. You know, I was drinking. If it's funny, what's crazy about that, when they filmed, that was in October of 2020 when they shot that. I quit in July drinking, so I was just starting to like lose weight, like because you know you got to come out of that fog, and then you got to try to find your way, and then you got to totally stop it, you know, try to figure that out. And you know, like, so around that time, I remember I was like half-ass cleaned up for that. Like I was sober. I mean, I was sober those months and stuff, but I remember like I had to like get a haircut in a while, and I had to worry about what I looked like or anything like that. And then it aired like in April or like May or whatever it was. So it was, and by that point I'd lost like all that weight. So it was weird to see it and then re-see it. And then like a year later this year, I was on WGN, you know, and when you see just the year apart, it was about 11 months apart, 80-pound difference, you know, it was all in my belly and in my head, you know. Yeah. And it was a lot of sadness and a lot of fucking booze, man.
Well, I need the belly loss part when we get done.
Intermittent fasting.
He'll give it to you, man. It works.
It's the only way. It's the only way. It's intermittent fasting.
That's honest truth. Follow the rules and it works. So
easy.
No doubt. So I saw some pictures on social media. In fact, I used one of them in our little promotional picture of a certain Thomaselli as a white belt.
Yeah.
What is going on? I mean, you aren't a lethal weapon enough where you need to add another harmful situation to your repertoire.
You know, I'm in this, and I'm a white belt, and I go there, and you know, it's big glass windows, and I have a really nice car. So as I pull up, like the 5th day, you know, of training, I walk in, and I'm rolling with the guys, and the one guy, like he's like a purple belt, he's pretty high up there, and he goes, you Bruce Wayne? I go, Bruce Wayne. He goes, you Bruce Wayne? I go, what the fuck does that mean? He goes, you're Batman, aren't you? I go, what does that mean? He goes, he points at my card. He goes, you're here training. He goes, how old are you? I go, 41. He goes, you're 41? I go, yeah. He goes, I thought you were like 30. I'm like, I'm 41. He goes, you're Bruce Wayne. So they call me Bruce Wayne.
Nice. So
Anyways,
what
the long
is
and the
it?
short, I wanted to do something. I got in shape and now I want to be focused and I want to do something. So I wanted to amateur wrestle. That's in my history. But I was always like a 50-50 amateur wrestler. I was good. I won this, won that, but most of the time I was just kind of hit or miss. And then the older I got, more in the weed and fuck around I got later in life, I didn't give a shit. You know, by the time I got to my senior year, I was definitely like probably a 40-60 wrestler, you know. But now I'm so smart and I'm strong. And when I was growing up, I wasn't strong. You know, I didn't give a shit either mentally at all. So I was a whole different person today. So I thought this summer it would be fun to do some old timer tournaments, some online, for me to do any number of them, because once I do something, I'm addicted to it and I'll do it as often as I can. For me to really do like say 10 of them, I would have to travel everywhere. So I was kind of burnt. I'm like, this sucks, but I wasn't going to not do something now. So at the same time, they opened a school up right down the street from me. They came from Arlington Heights, so they're already a thing. Asu is the is the black belt that it's his brand. He's like the first non-Brazilian guy to have it, or so. His story's great. I don't know if I'm being honest, I haven't learned it all yet. I'm not there for that. I'm there for myself. No offense, but I'm just kind of that's the truth here. And I wanted a challenge. So I decided to take it up on that and go up there and see what it was about. I'm like the second or third student to join the school. So the school's super new, but it's not new in lineage. So I end up being in there with like brown belts and purple belts and black belts a lot when there's nobody else there because there's just not a lot of students. And I have a black belt in wrestling, just wrestling in general, man. You want to wrestle? If you're not doing submissions and other hippie shit, I can wrestle anybody. I don't care who you are. And I'm pretty good at it. So I fuck with these guys and we fuck back with each other. They get me. If it's jujitsu, they have a hard time. They have a pretty hard time. And I love that about it. So why do it? Why not? I'm 41 years old. I'm not dead. And I'm starting a brand new sport that takes over a decade to even like get anywhere in it. And I'm ready.
So when you hit 51, it's a reasonable goal that you too could be a black belt.
It's not only a reasonable goal, it's in my goals list. It's what I'm going to do. See, the difference is today is I don't say things without having a major, I don't say it to say it, right? I'm saying it because I've thought about it, I've planned it, and I'm going to do it. And with this now, I want to do it. And I want to do it because I want something that I'm not in control of. I'm so in control of my day. I'm so in control of my environment. I'm so in control of this. I'm in control of my diet. I want to go somewhere and I want to turn it all off. And I want somebody that I believe in to teach me what this is. And I am nerdy respectful about it. I stand a certain way. I never have my arms crossed like I'm with you guys because that's disrespectful in an environment like that. I always wipe my feet before I get on the mat. When we line up, I line up a certain way and I stare straight ahead. I don't swear inside the dojo. Like I'm militant about it because for me, it's a respect thing. And I think I get so much back of it energy that I'm putting out there in this. And I'm so excited to see what this looks like even a year from now. So I've set a goal to compete 1 year from the day I got my black belt. That's why I posted that photo because I wanted to come up on memories.
And it'll definitely be there because, you know,
yeah.
They're real good about that. Might be the one good thing that social media is reminding you of things as they approach anniversaries.
Mm-hmm.
What about Brazilian jiu-jitsu drew you to it? I'm kind of interested because I mean, there's plenty of martial arts out there, plenty of activities like that could have caught your eye. And I know it was a new place opened up in your proximity, but was there something about Brazilian jiu-jitsu that made you gravitate towards it?
This is going to kind of sound weird. One, I wanted to do Muay Thai and or boxing because I've already wrestled. Like to me, it's kind of boring. Like I can do it in my sleep. So I want to learn to fight, and not for any reason, but I want to learn to fight. So, but then I also thought about it, and I thought, if I know wrestling the way I know wrestling, I already know like 60% of jiu-jitsu. So like, why not? If I'm going to start something this late in life, why not already have a leg up to some capacity than it would be say boxing or something else? So it was a calculated plan to say that I could probably skip through some steps because I already understand hips. I already understand takedowns. I already understand control. I already understand points. I understand that part of it that has to be taught to you from a very young age. You take a 41-year-old guy that's never done any combat sports, he's starting behind the 8 ball. I'm not. So for me, I think any sport I would have picked, I would have that because I know hips, but it was an easier transition. So it kind of sounds like a cop out, but it was an easier transition for me at this late in life.
No, but it makes perfect sense that there's a relation in the arts of each of them, and it makes sense that you could take some of what you know that you've been doing your whole life and apply it to your new goal. And just listening to your enthusiasm about it makes me a believer in it. It makes me almost want to go do it. Although at 51 myself, I'm, as I'm flying around the wrestling ring now, learning my bumps and whatnot, I find myself often biting off more than I can chew. So I don't know if I'm going to be sparring with you in jiu-jitsu anytime soon.
I'll tell you what, if you ever wanted to spar with me in jiu-jitsu, now would be the time, because every time I do it, I get better every single time.
And I don't think that would happen for me. I don't know how that optic works.
I'll say this, and I was going back and forth with a guy on Facebook about the time of the day that I wake up in the morning, and he was saying that it was crazy. And to me, it's the other way around, right? So like, you can do anything you want to do if you set that time to do it. Like look at you now, right? When we talked about weight, whatever that was it probably 6 months ago?
Right.
7, 8, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Right. You were in a different spot. And I would say even probably part of you when I hung up with you, then I thought you couldn't do it to some capacity, right? And now look where you're at.
Yeah. And like I said, it motivates you. Seeing what you can do, seeing how much more you can do with a 6th grader off of your body, it makes you hungry for more.
Imagine when you get rid of an ex-wife. It's even better. Yeah.
See, Rion is alive at a facility at the Chicago Sky game. So
yes,
he's I don't know why we're doing live correspondence from there.
It's the ring. So tonight is the championship banner ring ceremony.
Oh, okay. So Rion is our man on the street at that particular facility. And it looks like it's a sold out house. I think Rion is still muted.
Like he's there and he's giving a thumbs up, and he's got somebody from the Air Force with him.
And we've got one of the.
We can't hear you.
I can hear the crowd.
We hear the crowd. We hear the crowd.
I'm still here. I'm on a headset. I just had to walk away for 1 second, but
that's okay. That's okay. So Rion Skills live at the Chicago Sky ring ceremony. Is Candace Parker there tonight?
Of course, she getting a ring.
I know, but I'm just saying. Things get a little weird sometimes.
So Rion, are you bringing us back gifts since you're there? We can't be there. Do we get a towel or?
Is there a bobblehead in our future? We got hats.
Oh, you got us hats?
No, Rion got himself hat, but
not you. Oh, you got 2, 3. So you got yes, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Power Hour, we get hats thanks to our live on the street roving reporter Rion Skills, 7K Vision. Now you know what I hate about stuff like this, Steve.
What?
Is it's all of this, and then they gotta win, because if they don't win,
it's bad juju the rest of the way.
You throw the hat away if they lose, right?
I'm not gonna throw the hat away.
You keep the hat. Now, okay, I got to ask you, and this is not something I planned for. I'm just going to ask it anyway. You've got this pink liquid in a jar. If it was blue, it would be Star Wars stuff. What are you drinking there?
So this is, I drink like some days, like I'm on, I don't know, about 5 days where I just have 2 of these in a day. It's just, I take Greek yogurt. It's 0% Greek yogurt or 0 milk fat. It's like the grossest kind of like Greek yogurt that you can buy.
It's very thick.
It's very thick. So I take a third of a tub, which is about 30 grams of protein. And I'll throw that in a blender, and then with like 24, 22 ounces of whole milk, which is like another 20 or so, 22, 23 grams of protein. And then I put like fruit in there, like frozen fruit. But like they have always different like smoothie blends. So I do like a strawberry or a banana or a strawberry banana. And if my joints are hurting a little bit, I'll do extra banana, and then like my joints lubricate that way. So it kind of comes down to how I feel. But I've been on these now for a couple of days. So each shot of it's like 60 grams of protein as I do it, and probably about 400 calories. So I'm doing, I don't know, 800 calories in a day and not a lot of protein, but I've never been in. I mean, you want to talk about solid? Like I'm solid. Like I'm solid everywhere. I mean, everywhere on me is solid. So I'm going against
No.
science completely. No, but I'm going. Like people just say that I'm supposed to have hundreds of grams of protein a day to maintain. No, I don't. I have very little protein at this. I have what I need, and I have a couple spoons of peanut butter here and there if I want. If I have a headache, it's weird, man. I don't eat to like enjoy it. I eat depending on what I did that day, and then I eat a lot when I'm hungry. If I'm not hungry, I don't eat at all. And it's going on like 4 or 5 days now with just this.
It sounds like you got a bit of a science behind it. You kind of tailor it to your own, to how you're feeling on a daily basis.
Yeah, and then like I say, like this morning I went out before I got my kids today, and I knew I was going to get them a little early this week, so I wanted to get a couple exercises in. So I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning. We ran. I got 6 miles in, came back, and I ate. I wasn't going to eat this morning. I wasn't really hungry, but I ate. I ate a little bit of the. It's funny, a couple pieces of cheese. And then I went down to the gym. And I had a great workout, man. I did my back, I did my legs, I did my shoulders. It took about 2 hours. But I did it the way I was supposed to do it. Little breaks in between, and in that same time, I drank about a half a gallon of water. So by about 7:45 and 8:30 or so in the morning, by the time I got everything done and showered and sat back down, I was done with all that. So it's just organization, right? So every day, but I'm not planning for that tomorrow. So tomorrow I won't eat anything like that. So it kind of comes down to what I'm doing and in the moment of it. But a lot of times when you're hungry, you're not hungry, you're bored.
I have that on my sheet on my fridge. You're not hungry, you're bored.
You're bored. You're fucking bored. And
that statement helped me more than anything.
Thank you. Yeah, it's true. And like for me, I in my marriage and stuff, we'd watch a lot of TV, and we would didn't matter. Things didn't matter that the same to me. So like now it's like people are like, oh my God, did you watch the latest thing of an insert this year? I say no, and it's not because I'm better than you. It's because when I sit there and I do that, and I'm like 20 minutes in or 5 hours in or then 3 months in, before I know it, I'm a year into this depression and I don't want to get back there. So I won't be anywhere near I'm not going to watch other people kill it. I'm going to kill it, because to be honest with you, I don't want to watch other people do really well in life. Not because I don't want them to, because I don't want to watch your movie. I'll watch your movie later. I want to watch my movie, and so for me, I want to do it every day. And to do that, you got to live a certain way. So again, I know I veered a little bit, but on the topic of that, I eat what I need to eat depending on what I want to do that day. And that's it,
Actually, that's the perfect segue. You don't want to watch somebody else's success. You want to create your own, which is going to bring us to the widely publicized, highly vaunted retro circus, which I have been waiting weeks and weeks and weeks to talk to you about. Is this the most innovative thing you've ever done? Because looking at what you guys put together, you and Scarpone, it is the most unique vaudevillian, unheralded production. If I wasn't working and already committed that night, I would have popped for whatever it costs to see it, just to be part of it. Talk to us a little bit about Retro Circus and why it might have been the coolest night of entertainment this calendar year thus far.
Yeah, I will say, although I did come up with a lot, Tony Scarpone, big part of it too. He's a fun partner to like volley with. I've been creative partners with a lot of people, in a lot of things, through business, through entertainment, through wrestling in general, like even in high school, right? Like, and with him, there's a certain level of, we're both Italian, we're both older. We both quit the business and then decided to come back into it. We both see wrestling in a very specific way. And we both don't want to do wrestling, but we wanted something similar. And I remember what's funny is there was a company that was going to come out here over the summer from the East Coast. And so they called me to see if to get about some venues. And my days and venues in the area were limited at this point. So I called Tony, and, then we struck up a friendship after that. And a couple months later, he made a joke about wanting to run a promotion. So I hit him up saying, hey, if you are, I'd write it for you. And we laughed a little bit. And he told me it was just a joke. A couple of days go by and he messaged me back and he goes, you serious? You want to write it? And I go, I mean, dude, we live 10 minutes from each other. You want to have lunch or dinner? So we met at this place called Anthony's, and, we just started BSing. And what's crazy is like, we don't know each other at this point at all, but we've known each other for like 20 years. So it's weird to like sit in front of somebody and like really know them, but have no idea who they are. And I think he might be the most unique person to me that way, because we know a lot about each other, but have no idea who each other is. Right. So, we're kind of going back and forth, and he's saying what he doesn't like, and I'm saying what I don't like, but we're not saying it from like we're grizzled veterans, like, oh, they got to grab a hold. It wasn't that. It was like the shows are the same, right? You show up, ring announcer comes out, let me go to the back, and then the guy comes out from the back, and the other guy comes out from the back. They tie up, and then they chain wrestle, right? And then they run a spot, tackle, drop down, take it again, and you've seen it, right? And I'm like, I told Tony, I said, save your money. I tried to talk him out of it. And he's like, well, what do you think? And I said, well, what about this? And he goes, what about that? And then what about this and what about that started kind of going in this weird circle. And it was funny, but it was serious. And what it developed into was there's all these niche audiences. Why are we wrestling promoters? Can't we just be promoters? And then we looked at it like, well, how do we make this? And how do we make that? And I was like, it's like a retro circus. And he was like, a retro circus. And we both looked at each other and we're like, yeah, like a retro. And then Tony just started nailing. He's like, and then we get a tent and we do this and we have clowns, and he's just going off. And I'm like, yes. And I'm writing. I'm like, yes. And yeah. And like, we went from like, don't do any of this to like a thing by the time we ended this couple-hour dinner. Now, what's funny is I leave, he leaves, the week goes by, 2 weeks go by. I get a text from him or he texts me, whatever. Hey, we doing this or not? I'm like, I don't know, man. What do we, how do we, and then where do we, and then this, and then something else. And then now it's January and we already have a show booked in April. And we don't know what the fuck we're doing. And then mid-January, I said, okay, I'll have this settled and you have this thing settled and we'll meet in the middle. He said, fine. That middle was back in Anthony's, that same bar. I forgot what I had to have, but he was going to get 2 acts besides I had to have the wrestlers that I booked, and then he was going to get the acts. So we bring it back together. I had everything I needed. He comes in, he goes, all right, I have these girls called the Vaudettes. And I'm like, what do they do? And he's like, they're burlesque dancers. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, and not even in a bad way, but I'm like, we need more. Like, okay, so after 5 minutes, what do they do? And he's like, no. He's like, Google them. And I saw them on YouTube, and I was like, who are these girls? And like, and it's like, so then I go, okay, great. Great. And then he goes, so I got this Rob Zombie tribute band. And I'm like, I could care less about that kind of music. I'm from the 90s, but I loved rap, and I still do, like gangster rap. Like, so to me, like, that was the other music besides gangster rap. So it wasn't right. I didn't really dig it, but Rob Zombie's a big deal to that, like that 90s crowd.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, Jugular, all those other, the House of a Thousand Corpse song. Like, okay. So he shows me the guy, it looks just like him. So I'm like, okay, now I see it. And then you go, oh no. I go, okay, so how do we lay it out? He goes, okay, a match here, then we'll do this, and the girls do this, and then we're talking for like an hour. And then Tony goes, hey, do you know the Vaudettes and the Rob Zombie tribute band, that they do a couple songs together? I go, what do you mean? He goes, like, they'll come out with Fire, and they do Fire, something with the Fire, and then I go, they do? And I thought at this point they were a combined act, the way I was hearing it at the table. I'm like, wait. I'm like, wait. So these girls do this, they do the band, and they do this, and then the wrestlers and the clowns, and we can do this whole thing and a big thing. He goes, we can. I was like, it's a variety show. We're not a wrestling program. We're a variety show. And he's like, we're a variety show. And I went, then we got going. And at that point, it never stopped, and like, we had a lot of ideas and we tried some and they just weren't good. And I think it came down to our preparation for it made them shitty. It wasn't so much the ideas, it was the execution. So we learned a lot. And, one last thing I'll put Tony over for, that last week before the show, all the T's were crossed, I's were dotted, everything's ready to go. And we lose our cameras. The guys were going to film it. Now, so what? Who cares? Just do the show, get it out of the way. But if we don't have anything to film, we can't show it to anybody, right? So we go out, we make it happen. Tony's a part of it. We make it happen. And we want to spend thousands of dollars, and we got cameras. We got our own 4K ready TV cameras. And then we got Bluetooth switchers. So we can send 400 feet, 4K quality, no cables around the ring, right? Quality, real good quality to make all this happen, and we're ready, man. So now we've recessed back, and we're seeing our options. I don't want to get too off in the weeds, man, but we have some really cool, it's not just venues, it's not just artists, a way that we're going to take this. And it's awesome. You guys are probably about a month too early for me to talk about this, but I'll leave it at that. We're in a really cool spot right now. And from a wrestling perspective, we're going to be doing some more wrestling stuff too. So look for some more announcements with me, maybe going back to a little bit more of my roots. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but it won't be so much wrestling.
Can I sell popcorn?
Yeah, man. I'll be the bathroom attendant with the towels. just to be part of that.
There wasn't bathroom attendants back in the day.
Hey, I'll tell you, vaudeville, you could have a bathroom attendant.
You know what? You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at things that we want to do in places that we want to do them at. So ideally, we're going to make that happen. Retro Circus is not. It's no longer a passion project. It's slowly turning into a career. If this keeps going the right way, I think Tony and I are both going to be in a complete different spot next year. We have a lot of cool things that even planned for next year and how we're planning things for next year. It's like, for once I have a partner in my life where he's a go-getter in areas that I'm not good at. I'm not good at chasing venues. I'm not good at certain levels of business management, and he's perfect at it. So I just think that we have the right team.
Well, I mean, his past work speaks for itself, as does yours. And the fact that these two minds have come together, and I've seen some of the footage, and you hear the tales that were told. I had a chance to talk to Brubaker a little bit about the experience, and I was riveted by the recounting, of the evening. So when it does come back down the pike, you have, it's must see. You got to get out to see it, because it's unlike anything that's out there.
Yeah,
and that's what I like.
And yeah, so we're gonna do magic coming up. We have comedians. There's a lot of cool people that we're talking to, man. And like I'm a huge, and so is Tony, huge America's Got Talent fan for years. And those people are around, man. They're hanging out, and there's not many people that can bring them together. People just don't do it. So we're looking to do some really fun things with some fun names. If you watch that over the last 10 years, you're gonna know who they are, and it's gonna come to hopefully a place near you.
You look forward to
tape face. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's good when the business finds a way to make itself bigger than it already is in the right ways. And when I looked at the Retro Circus with everything that was going on, it's just one of those things where it's like, you go into something like this, and it's like you turn here and you turn here, and it's like you've got something going on that's different and new and unusual and crazy, but you can't take your eyes off of it. So I think Retro
pretty cool.
is the perfect title for this thing.
Yeah, it is, and we don't say pro wrestling. We say circus wrestling. It's really funny when you talk to like advertisers, just money marks in general. When you say circus wrestling, they're always like, "What's that?" And you're like, "Oh, a giant wrestles a little person." They're like, "Oh, wow, cool." I never say pro wrestling, because the minute I say pro wrestling, I don't care who you are, man. You have a thought. Now I might say that, and they might go like pro wrestling, and if they mark out, that's when I'm like, yeah, exactly. But if they give me like they don't know, I don't say it, because it's gonna throw a weird spin. But you say circus wrestling, they're like, okay, that's cool. What does that even mean? I made that up, but it doesn't matter. The point is everything's perception. And this one way that we're doing this is unique. It's fun, and we have some ins and some really cool places, and some outsiders that want to do some fun stuff with us. So some retro shows coming our way, some other fun things coming our way. Just 2023 is going to be a bigger year. This year's a setup year. So one or two more things maybe this year, but 2023, the ground's going to be running. We're going to be running on the ground.
But if you think about it, you're just going back to our roots. People have forgotten that is where wrestling came from. We came from the carny. That's why, it's called carny. Because again, we were part of carnivals and circuses. You got to see the man wrestle the bear, and things of that nature. So, to me, it just sounds like you guys, we're gonna just go back to our roots and bring all of that back, not just the wrestling aspect of it, but we want the whole atmosphere, because a lot of people think, if you say pro wrestling, they just think about going into whether it's a dime store or a full stadium and going and sit down and you just focus on a ring. And I can already tell just from listening to you that there's so much more going on, that it's way more, you get way more for your money than just, oh, okay, I'm watching these guys wrestle. okay, next match, I'm watching these guys wrestle. No,
No.
I get to see sexy women. Yes.
Mhm.
And oh, I get to hear music. Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, here's some more sexy girls. Yes.
Yeah. I want to kind of pause for a second. Yes, outside in, especially what you're saying, and I'm not saying you're saying it wrong. They are sexy, but something about them, they carry the crowd, and it isn't like I've seen like strippers to cheerleaders to ballroom dancers to salsa dancing, and there's a certain thing when someone grabs you, and there's something about the Vaudettes, man. They do sexy, but in a way you can't get them. Like, strippers, their job is to make you think that they care and they love it and they love you and you're
Right.
special to me tonight, and they're whorish, right? That's not them, man. They're
No.
they're fierce, and they're I can't. There's every time I see them, I'm like, the right people are going to see these girls and they are going to explode. There's something fun about them. And they pair awesome with everything. Rock and roll, basketball, girls on the side of the road entertaining you because there's a traffic jam. Like, they can literally be anywhere. You'd be like, these are fucking awesome, because they do shit with fire. They have human pin cushions. Like they put fire on each other and like wipe it away. Like they're awesome and they're unique. I mean, you can't say like, oh, the Vaudettes, and you go, well, what's that? Oh, they're like this thing. You can't say that. There's nothing you can say that they're like. They're nothing like anybody else. They're so unique.
It's an original concept.
They're so awesome.
Check them out.
And they got to check them out. So, and for us, they'll be on everything that we have, or that they'll allow us to put them on, because I just think they're awesome.
That's I'm out of breath thinking about it. I can't wait. I can't wait to check this out live. I've often wondered as I watch you perform on social media, and I listen.
Perform? Yeah, you think I perform on social media?
It is performance in a way, and I mean this in the most positive way, because you don't have to, but you do. And, specifically, the positivity post that you do the other morning, 4:30 in the morning, people think I'm crazy. This is the time where you own it. That, it's the positive reinforcement that you lay down. Have you ever thought about being a life coach? Because it's something that, many folks need. And you're the way you react and the way you channel your energy and the way you take all the experiences in your life, both good and bad, and find a way to use them and distribute them. That's the hallmark of a great life coach. You ever thought about going down that road?
I have, and that's part of what Sal and I meet about on Sundays, is try to develop this brand of how do we connect all of this. But ultimately, you're paying for my time, right? Like I'm ultimately that's what I'm charging somebody for, right? And for me, that's where it starts to get a little icky for me. Like, I'm not against it, right? I could do sales coaching, and that's different. I can do weight loss coaching, and that's different. But like life coach, that's a really big responsibility. And I don't want to sound like I'm, like some people sound so nerdy when they try to talk about, but there's certain things where you got to look at it and kind of go, I'm not offering to mow your grass once a week. I'm taking on your life with you. That's pretty heavy, right? And that's why it's like a therapist, but by default, because you don't want to go to school, you're a life coach, and for me, I think there's a space for that. I'm doing it in some way, shape, or form with a lot of people. Like, I do it just through means of what I do every day. And I think out of that, something will eventually happen. As weird as that sounds, and that's what I'm going for. And I'm not doing it for that, but that's my end game. If you're asking me, do I ever want to go that route? I'm going there. I'm going there. It's happening. It's just not happening. I'm not going to open up the front doors and be like, hey, I'm a life coach.
Yeah.
Who wants to work with me?
You're going to do it in a very Vito Tomaselli way, which I would expect nothing less.
It's like this. It's like, hey, it's through the woods there, or you can walk around that way. I'm like, I just know a path, man. So I don't know, but at some point, or I got to be honest, I'm turning a little more and more into a recluse, where I like to be left alone too. So I can see my next phase of my life. I might just ninja dust, and I'm gone. That I could see at a certain age. I have 15 years and 5 months, so I don't have to deal with my ex anymore, and my kids are 21 and over, and I'll be grandpa at that point, or whatever they want to do with their lives at that point. But I can see myself living on the equator too. Like, I don't see this life this isn't worth this. The juice isn't worth the squeeze in the States, and it isn't because of anything else or the obvious. It's because this rat race sucks, and I'm losing faith in a lot of that too. So my end game is to make money where I can disappear, and not disappear like from everybody, but like I don't want to live in this anymore. I don't like this life.
It makes a lot of sense. Why I think that this is what you were put here to do is you talk about it regularly. At least, I see you go through it regularly about how you were in dark places and you had to pull yourself up by the bootstrap and rebuild. And I think that's what some people don't have the capacity to do without a little bit of guidance. And I'm not saying that I think everybody can do it, but sometimes people don't do it because they just can't figure out how to start.
No, people don't do it because they've been given the excuse that they can't do it. See,
Yeah.
I think what's really sick today, we do it a lot in communities where we tell communities you can't do it. You can't do something. And they also do it in communities where they also tell people, oh, you're always going to do it. So there's these two communities of thought, right? And they're both wrong. They're both drastically wrong. And those two extremes spit all of us to the middle to some capacity, right? And then we all kind of funnel into the middle. And my drunkest, bottomest barrel of the day, 240 some pounds again, I was drinking a handle of tequila every day and a half, every single day, and a buddy of mine came by, lives an hour and a half from me, and smartened me up one night. He's like, stop it. Like, you have all this going on, stop it. And I cried. I told him what was going on. I told him how I felt, and he listened to me and gave me a big hug and, changed my life. And I owed him for that. And that's all it really took for me. And then it was one day. And then I walked that next morning. I got up, I had like a couple shots left in the bottom of this thing, threw it out, and I got up and I walked. I Ultimate Warrior had a YouTube channel way back, like when YouTube first started, and he used to go on there and he had a fitness thing and he would just talk fitness and he was yelling at these people. This is like when nobody was on YouTube, Ultimate Warrior was, and I took all of them because I just thought they were awesome. And if you can get past all of like I can be coached and screamed at and I can win. I don't take it like you're yelling at me. No, I'm like, okay, motherfucker, okay, let's go. I take it differently, and he said something like, when you're lost, when you're confused, you can go to sleep or you can get up in the middle of the night and you can walk until you find yourself. Right. And I took that and I was like, okay, well, I don't know what that means, but I'm going to do it. And I would walk at night, man. And there's something about, I have a theory that everyone's in bed. So the energy, when you walk out of the house, you're pushing energy, butterflying, affecting into the world. You just are. You burp, cough, talk, your energy is happening. So I think during the day, cars, people, internet, signals, it's all happening. Then all of a sudden, midnight, say 10 o'clock, maybe even, it's off. Lights are on, stoplights are on. And now it's me and I'm out here. Nobody else is. Right? And you start feeling it. The more you navigate through that night and you start walking, it's ruminating. It's called ruminating. If you don't understand ruminating, study it. Now, it can either kill you or make you. What are you overly thinking about? What do you do? And on these ruminations, I would get hyper focused of what my goals were. And my goals that day were not to fail me, not you, not to fail me today. You can't fail today if that's your only goal. Because what's your fucking excuse? You said, no, I don't want to fail today. So why did you? Because you fucking failed. I don't want to hear that anymore. So if I just knew I could do it today and I didn't have to fail today, I would win tomorrow because tomorrow is day 2. And then I win tomorrow. Now I'm down to day 3. Now I'm 3 days ahead of where I was ever at before. I owe those 3 days something, right? No one else does. Because if I piss on those 3 days, then what the fuck am I doing this for? Right?
That is incredibly insightful. This is the part of the show where I ask, so where do you see yourself? What's the future hold? And I'm not going to ask you that because okay. For you, it's too easy. It's too easy a question. I'm going to ask it differently.
Okay.
How sweet does the future look to you now as opposed to a few years back?
I have to be honest, I'm more scared about my future now than I was 2 years ago.
Really?
Because
Now, see, that I
now-
was not expecting.
No, because now I'm in it. Imagine what my Facebook memories look like a year from now if I'm 242 pounds again.
Yeah, that might be a little bit of a deflating.
Or what about I've had 4 or 5 drinks, but I quit again. You know what that looks like? What about this time around when I'm doing it again? Do you know what that looks like? I can't do it again. This time, this way, this forward, as social as I've been about it, I have to continue this race. So if I get tired, I can't. You can take a break, but I can't, because I've pushed this energy this way. So now to me, I remember day 3 matters. I'm on day 900. That matters. So if I miss tomorrow, I just missed 900. I just fucked 900 days off. Do you know that pressure? So for me, I'm terrified. I'm terrified because in 41 years, I've never gotten it right. So I don't know if this is right. It feels right. And I'm motivated to fucking kill every day. And I say this quote, it's another Ultimate Warrior quote, but it's not, it's a Stonewall Jackson quote, but he would say it. What is not for you is against you. What is against you is your fucking enemy, and you have to kill your fucking enemy. That's a real statement. You know, so for me, I evaluate that every day. What is not for me is against me. That's it. And it's not that I got to kill you, but you don't get the time. And I'm getting really good at that. So because of that, I'm positive about what the future looks like, but I'm terrified.
Well, Red, that's pretty impressive. What are your thoughts on what that man just said? You got to kill your enemy. And I when he put that on social media a few days ago, it really struck me. So I'm happy that it came out here tonight as well. Red, what do you got to say to Vito after just this rawness, this raw energy that makes you kind of reevaluate who you are and what you're doing?
First of all, I don't appreciate you having Vito tonight, because I'm sitting here and I'm going through all these life moments in my head like, damn, should I could change this? And then he said you can't, kill your enemy, but don't kill you. Like, well, what's the fun if I don't? But then I go to jail and all this other shit. So here's the realness. I've known Vito for years. For years. I can feel, and this is no bullshit, I can feel the energy and feel the difference of the Vito I knew before. And I love that Vito, and I love it, but it's like split. Like the same soul, just a different shell.
My soul got touched.
And
come on, give me it.
Boom.
I mean, like, shit, fuck what Steve talking about. Write a book, please, so I can buy it.
If I will say this, because I am in that space, and Sal told me I'm foolish to do that. He said that's so old school thinking. If I had a ghostwriter, somebody I could sit down with and actually, like, I can spit this stuff to him and he could write it out, he or she, sorry. If I found that person that could do a ghostwriter, I 100% have a book ready to go.
Dude, you
put it out there.
Your energy is infectious. I don't know how anybody that does not watch this episode,
it's life-changing,
is not affected in some. Like I said, you're talking and I'm sitting here and I'm like, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm puffing on a cigar and I'm smoking on a cigarette, and I'm like, I've been saying I want to quit,
Sounds like you better get up and take a walk.
Well, look, man, this was me 2 years ago, man.
I can't take a walk in this neighborhood. Y'all don't grasp that concept.
Are you looking at that, Red?
I see it. I see it.
Amazing.
And then this is the craziest part. This was This was last May, a year ago, May. So I lost the weight, but I had no muscle. I didn't touch a weight until June of last year, you know? So like, I say that because I am no different. I'm not special. I have good genetics, but I don't fucking quit. That's what it is. Yeah. Hey, you know, that's what it is. And I think a lot of people like you find a reason, right? I can't find enough time in the day. Well, then get up earlier. You know what? But I got get up earlier, but I can't. Yes, you fucking can. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. I know one thing. When somebody tells you about the latest thing on Netflix and you run to that, you find time. And another thing, you make sure all the cobwebs in the corner, you find time, right? Or, oh my God, I got to have this thing and this other thing going on because my friend's going through all that. I got to be there for her today. You know who you're not there for? You're not there for yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing that I can share with anybody is you're no different, but be there for you. You got to be the best. What do they say when a plane goes down? What do they say? Does anybody know what they say to you? What do they say in the speech if a plane is going down? Save yourself first. You know why they say that? You got to save yourself first. You can't be drowned in and save somebody else. You got to save yourself first.
Save yourself. You can't save anybody else.
Right. And then you know what? Once you're safe, you help the person to your right or to your left. That's the rules. Right. So like that's a great life lesson. Stop telling everybody else how to live their life. You live your life and you be the best you. And then you help the next person next to you. Because you know what all people need? It is a weird belief thing, right? It's like I work with younger people in part of my job. And one guy would be like, he's young, man. He's 22 years old. He's like, you think I can do that? I was telling him about this investment thing he's trying to get involved with. He goes, do you think I can do that? I go, do you think you can do that? He goes, yeah. I go, then what the fuck does it matter what I think? And like he sat back for a minute and he was like not offended, but no one's ever talked to him that way. And he goes, are you mad at me? I go, mad at you? I go, no. I said, well, who the fuck cares what I think? He goes, well, I care what you think. I said, no, you don't. He's like, okay. I had to call him back later and I was like, hey, I'm sorry if I'm too strong, man. He's like, no, it's okay. I was like, boom, like right over his head. So again, man, I don't know. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but be the best you. Because I'm telling you, man, we all have something special in us. I know that for a fact. We all have something special in us. And goddamn, when you find it, man, it's so incredible, and share it with the person next to you and help them find what's great about them, because that's the secret in life, right? The secret in life isn't stuff. It's not. Or someone else's show. It's not. When you're on your deathbed, you're not thinking about that show. Tiger King doesn't matter at that point. Kids do. Right?
That is the stone cold truth. That is the stone cold truth. Vito, you have been tonight everything I knew you would be and everything I hoped you'd be. And awesome. That's why I love communicating with you, because you never disappoint. Mm-hmm. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for taking the time. And I'd like to do this again as you get a little closer to the next installment of Retro Circus, so we can scoop before everybody else.
You know, you gave me a great interview like September-ish or so of 2020. And we should do, I know we've talked about it, but we should do another one over on, I have a thing that I do on my Facebook page, Coffee with Vito, but I've been doing Coffee with the Saints with Sal lately. So yeah, man, maybe we can talk about doing something like that too, because I like your interview style, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't think we talked about it in a fraction.
Honored anytime to be a part of Vito's world. That's a great place to be. We are going to let you go because we have to finish up this show talking about some of the wrestling things that we have upcoming. And like I said, I might even feel a little embarrassed about going down that road in gimmick with you watching me. I don't think I've hit that level yet, but I'm working hard.
Man, you know what? If you got some ring time and you have an open ring anywhere near me, I'll come and spend some time with you. I have no problem doing it. I would love to spend some time with you. I'll do it.
Oh, I'm going to hold you to that. I am going to absolutely hold you to that. You're going to have to come to Moments.
I don't say something just to say it.
I'm going to make you come all the way to Moments.
Just tell me a time and day.
Oh man, you're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, there is only one, and that's all this world can handle. Only one, Vito Thomaselli. Vito, yes. You're the best. Keep rocking, and we will be looking at what you do and following your sage advice. You're the best, my friend. Thank you so much.
Much love to all you guys. For real. Thank you for having me on.
Don't forget to vote. Fitness Magazine. We want him to vote. Give up the money. $5.
Double votes. It's
Not a
double
lot.
votes tonight. Double
11
votes,
o'clock.
man.
Let's get it
Come
done.
on.
Let's get Vito over. Thanks, brother.
Love you guys.
You have a good
Bye-bye.
night, man. All right. That was, of course, Vito Thomaselli. How about that, Red? Do we not pull the best guests? I mean, doesn't that make you feel good inside?
Shit, I don't know if I feel good or feel bad.
But that's the best part is, even if you feel a little bad, it leads to the good. When he hit me up,
it makes you think. It especially the inspirational quotes and just life lessons make you think. You know, what can I? At least for me, what can I do to be better? What can I do to change, you know, this aspect or that aspect of who I am and become better?
Yeah, and like
trust me, and he's off now, so I'm about to straight up blow him up.
You're about to what?
I'm about to blow him up. Like, dude, I gotta get rid of this gut.
Yeah, you blow him up quickly. I was about 9 months into my training with Nikki, and it was going good, and I was starting to see a difference. And he reached out to me and said, "You're looking good, man. I see what you're doing. Can I offer you some advice? Can I talk to you?" And, you know, I hadn't talked to Vito since that time in September he was talking about, where I interviewed him on his show.
Right.
And he sat down with me for a good hour, and he told me some things that I could do to really start to make a difference. And boy, just the fact that someone would reach out he had no reason to do that, or he had, the reason was his and his alone. But it helped me so much. It made me see things a different way. And I think that's the beauty of Vito Thomaselli. He makes you see things just a little differently. And sometimes that's good, because we all hear the same things so many times. To hear a different perspective, someone that's coming at things a little phonetically, but with a different octave, which I think really resonates well. And like I said, him and Scarpone, that retro circus was a thing of beauty. I found out that Tony Scarpone knew who I was. Do you believe that?
Wow. Well,
I was at a Rocket Pro show, and he was there.
I'm not shocked. I mean,
I'm totally shocked. I'm
not, because again, while some people shit on you, others see your work, and I've always told you that.
Yeah,
you're right. People, you're gonna have people that, you're gonna have haters regardless. You're gonna have haters, and
you're also gonna have idols, but that's a story for another show. It was one of those situations where Scarpone was there, and I saw him, and I'm like, I went to several Blitz shows, and I know who he is, and he and Frankie Rodriguez got me guests on my show when I was working at the media school. So I'm like, I'm going to go over there. He has no idea who I am, but I want to pay my respect, because he's meant a lot to me. So I went up to him and I said, "Hey, Mr. Scarpone, my name's Steve. I'm a big fan. Probably don't know who I am, but you've inspired me." And he's like, "Oh, I know who you are. How you doing, Steve?" And it blew my mind. It literally, how the hell does this man know who I am? It was a really good moment for me, because it was completely unexpected.
Dude, outside of Vito, again, Tony Scarpone is one of those people that if my posts don't seem happy and chipper, I'll put it like that, I'm gonna hear from Tony.
Yeah, you got an army out there.
But people say that, but then their actions have to back it up. Tony reaches out, and again, Tony is another one that asks, "Hey, can we do lunch?" or "Can we get together, a cup of coffee or whatever?" And again, I'm sure everybody thinks I'm blowing them off, but I'm like, I'm at work, like no matter what I do, I'm going to work regardless. And we're at the Sky. Are they getting the rings, Rion?
Ladies and gentlemen, our man on the street, Rion Skills. It's Rion Vision in 7K live at the Sky Ring ceremony. How you doing, Rion?
Thumbs up. All right. The game started.
There he is.
Oh, they're getting the rings now.
That is one hell of a crowd. Trust Arena.
Hey, ain't that the guy that was with you?
What the hell is going on down there? You're a high roller. You're VIP.
Rion, is that a member of your family? Rion.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Amazing. If you're going down family members, there's my mom, there's my sister.
Hey, mama.
Family affair.
Hey, sis.
She don't hear me. She can hear the music. The game went back to it. Hold on a second.
Hey, where's the great one?
Not here.
Oh.
The show just goes crazy directions. First we get Vito, now we got great seats in the Sky game.
Hey, but here's the good thing. At least
here's the funny part.
no, the good thing, because we're so motivated, we might run on the court right about that.
Hold on. You said here's the funny part. Hold on.
Oh wait, here we go. Here's to Vito.
I ain't got nothing left.
To Rion.
All right.
Don't forget, here's a little interest. Here's something for you. This Sunday in Richmond Park, IPW returns. And at the conclusion of IPW in Richmond Park, the Power Hour is going to come together with a live IPW recap. So not only do you get this episode of the Power Hour this week, but on Sunday afternoon, you get a special bonus episode, Rion, Wed, and myself, recapping the ongoings at IPW within professional wrestling. It's going to be hot. Red, bad things happened this week.
I was waiting.
Bad things.
Was they really bad?
Bad things happened. I
keep telling you, you keep getting your heart broke every single week.
I had an especially bad weekend.
I go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
First of all, on Friday, the Black and Brave kids were the bane of my existence. They tried to hijack my show. They tried to beat up my stars. Up to no good. So what did I do?
Yes, what did you do?
I took a stand. I suspended Conan Lycan, the Huntsman, Jay Marston, Shane Boucher, the Cajun Kid, and Solomon Tupu, the Dragon of the Pacific. Those four men suspended till August.
Okay.
That's 2 paychecks. Bye-bye. They took liberties all over Jazz. They went after your blood. So you can't be happy about that either.
Well, I'm not happy about that. And I'm proud of you to finally show some cojones.
But guess
congratulations, sir.
He's like,
okay, but we don't need to see the Sean Danger shirt. Really?
Is that a Sean Danger shirt? He's repping the company. Good for Rion. Maybe he'll be wearing the Sean Danger shirt at the little Power Hour IPW recap this Sunday afternoon.
Not if he wants to live.
Not if he wants to live. So, guess who saved Jazz?
Should be who?
Cody James.
Okay.
I gave Cody James a shot at redemption, and Cody James stood tall. Like Vito said, sometimes you have to forgive. Sometimes you have to be open and receptive to the universe. Well, you know what? As much as he made my life miserable for a calendar year, he saved my superstars and my show this past Friday night. And once again, Joey Avalon and his shovel ruined my night. But, he may have retained the title. He may still be CSW heavyweight champion, but he paid a price. The worm got his turn.
Oh, well, I mean,
Scotty did his thing. And then Scotty Too Hotty let Axel Rico do the worm, the Puerto Rican worm. And that was badass. But do you know how that ended?
With a tequila shot?
No. I'm over on commentary, minding my own business, calling the action. And Scotty Too Hotty points at me and tells me to come here. And Axel Rico points at me and tells me to come here. And the crowd is like, go there. So I go there and I get in the ring. And suddenly I was Rikishi. And I backed that ass up all over Evil Sierra. That's right, baby. Was Scotty Too Hotty by my side? Stink face.
Is there footage of this?
All kind of footage. I was so excited that I was running the ring like I was 5, and I hit the bottom rope and I rappelled backwards. So I hit the rope and fell backwards, and I thought Turtle was going to shit himself. He was laughing so hard. But there was those when you hit those ropes wrong, the recoil will knock you down. But that didn't stop me. I went right back in that ring and I backed that ass up. How about that for a capper for a night?
Rian, move the camera.
Was Rian trying to give us a reverse stink face?
What?
You hit the camera in the wrong
I don't want to see
place.
you duck, man.
No, we're at halftime right now. 49-42.
Who's winning?
We're losing.
We're losing.
We're losing. The Indiana Beaver are winning. What is happening here? What are we doing? Nice coming off.
Yeah. If you love the Chicago Sky, we need you on your feet right now. Yeah. I don't know what's happening.
Okay. Well, I don't know who that is.
Look at the joy on that man's face.
He is so
That
happy
is
right
real
now.
joy right there. You can't fake that.
Well, Rian, mute so we can finish the show.
Rian has muted himself. He is, and you know what? People always say, Steve, you and Red did just fine. Why bring Rian in? Because Rian is the consummate entertainer. A lot of what I know about entertaining wrestling, I learned from Rian's skills. He is now every bit this show that Red and I are. It's a three-man weave, baby. And it's awesome.
Now I see why there's no switch tonight. I was disappointed.
No switch tonight. So at CSW, it was the best of times, the worst of times, and now we are off until July. As there is no CSW in June, we'll be back.
But what happened Saturday?
Oh, you know, something else real quick about CSW that I really enjoyed. Sky Blue came home.
Well, I heard she had a hell of a match.
She had a hell of a match.
I did hear that.
Brand new wrestler, Bombshell Shelly Benson, who is a trainee of Ms. Blue, and maybe trained her a little too good, although she had a lot of help with Eric Schultz and Mario Pardua. Sky Blue did not come out on top, but, you know, as successful as she is right now, brand new t-shirt on AEW's website.
I saw it. I like it.
She's a feature player. The fact that she got to come home, even if it might have been the last time, you know, it's always good when the best of you comes back and loves to be there. And she was electric in the locker room, a total professional, like always. And, you know, you don't get that all the time, Red. I think, you know, when stardom beckons, it can change a person, but I don't think it's changed her. And
well, I mean, I just think it highlights the person you are.
Yeah.
You know, and we, you know, I talk about him so much, but Marche Rocket is the prime example.
Well, Marche is on a whole other level.
You know, he could not do these shows, you know, but, you know, he constantly stays busy, you know, outside of whatever NWA has for him. And, you know, anybody, again, that makes it, I'm happy. I'm proud of them, you know, because, again, this is a very tough business, but congrats to Sky Blue and all her success, and anybody else that makes it out of Chicago, because God, it's a jungle. Speaking of jungles,
we are beckoning August 2nd will be that magic date where Power Hour hits number 100. And if he's available, Marche Rocket will be the guest for that show. Hopefully we'll get to have a few guests in a barbecue format and have a little bit of fun. But, you know, it seems inevitable now, Red, that we are going to make it to 100. And I think that's pretty impressive. Well, I don't think I thought when we started we were gonna do it like we do and be
well. Our original plan, remember, was never, you know, we were gonna go back to said spot and go back, you know.
And we've traveled. I mean, Compass Arena, that was a hell of a night. The family, you know, at Miranda's bar, that was a fun night. We're going to do in November this year, or sorry, September this year, we're going to another watering hole for the roast of Ivan Manson. So the Power Hour, whether you like it or you don't like it, we do fun, interesting things, and we have fun, interesting guests, and we bring them all on. Vito tonight, stop the show. Paulie when he's here, amazing. When we had the Idols, as much as I can't stand them, it's entertainment. You know, I love what we do. We don't get paid. It's not about the money. It's about having these interesting people on, having a conversation with them, and trying to make people happy and make people say, you know, that's a fun thing that you guys do. And we hear it from a lot of people. You know, we like watching you. And I never get tired of that. I never get tired when someone says, you know, I watched your show the other night. You didn't have to, you could have watched anything else and you watched our little show. That means the world to me. And that's why we're well on our way to 100. Now, you had mentioned, I had mentioned that bad things happened over the weekend. CSW was not without its pitfalls, but I got to stink face the Evil Sierra, which is something I'll be able to take to my grave with me as a great achievement. But then SCW happened Saturday night in Shabance. And I don't think things could have gone much worse.
Yeah, well, was I there?
No, you weren't.
Was Miles there?
No, I'm sure you were enjoying things at Rumpoles or Fox Lake or wherever you POW types hang out.
We're not pal.
Uh-huh.
We're not.
I thought we had a pretty good thing going, family at SCW. I know that I was the bastard child for a while and things got kind of rough for me not too long ago, but I have been redeemed. Then Pow showed up in Shabance this past Saturday night.
And showed out.
As Jimmy Blaze and Scott Spade came in, and even though it was via nefarious means, walked out with the SCW tag team titles, defeating Angel and Aaron Xavier. Scott Spade darn near killed Angel with a pile driver that scared children in the front row. I thought Angel was dead. That not bad enough. James Creed, the real sharpshooter, in one hell of a contest, one hell of a match, versus the brother of our guest, Paulie Thomaselli. And, you know, Paulie's our friend of the show. And what does Paulie do to me while I'm announcing him in the ring? He pushes me around. I didn't do nothing to deserve that. He was a great guest on this show. We showed him love. What does he show me? Pushes me into the corner. He is Pow. He was the only person in Pow that I liked. I don't know anymore.
You know.
It was rough. Pow attacked. And JPH, our favorite son, JPH 2095 from the Chicago Quadrant, coming back from the future to save the day, comes in. Pow scurries away. And he takes out James Creed. Unzips his tracksuit wearing a Pow shirt.
And y'all worried about me and Miles. Everybody is worried about me and Miles, yet it's the ones that y'all put all y'all trust in, all y'all hope in. Oh, JPH is the savior. Oh, JPH is no.
JPH would do very well as a member of the ARC.
No.
Because it turns out JPH is all about himself. Turns out JPH is all about the money. Turns out JPH is selfish. It turns out JPH is a coward. The coward's way out. That's what the C in ARC often stands for. Cowards.
No, it's consequences.
I said it.
You can't read. It's on the shirt. It's on the shirt. Consequences, not cowards.
So JPH, member of POW, JPH, the prodigal son, takes out his best friend. James Creed's done. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
He's gone indefinitely. He has no ACL, MCL. It's all gone. POW took that. JPH made a choice. It was a bad choice. And he'll see.
But I want you to understand.
There's nothing you're going to say right now that is going to make me understand, Red.
You can shut. Well, I really don't care if you understand. But
we know.
But the SCW champion is now also half of the SCW tag champion. Ooh.
It was not a great night for the red team this past Saturday. One of the things that was pretty amazing is the match between Sean Mulligan and Jimmy Carrick, which was crazy and had a wild and woolly finish. And it was one of the most violent matches I've ever seen. Sean Mulligan is the new SCW Genesis champion. And he is. Wait a minute. He is the first ever in history Southland Championship Wrestling Triple Crown winner. He has occupied every title. Congratulations.
Well, I mean, again, congratulations, but the good versus the bad.
Yeah,
because all I saw was everybody. Yes, they're coming. We're gonna kill Pal and all of this. And what happened? Like all of this Pal negativity, and it exploded in everybody's face.
So we'll see what happens June 18th at Steam Hollow as SCW and Shock the System return to the Steam Hollow Brewery.
Hey,
for
Steve.
Rock
Steve,
and Wrestling.
Steve.
Yeah.
Tell Hunter not to put the company on the line like Rocket Pro. Otherwise, they might lose that.
That's another thing that hasn't been great this weekend. The Fabulous Idols spewing their propaganda all over social media.
How was it spewing? They now control. I saw somebody, and here somebody posted, I don't know, it's on social media, and somebody then commented and said, well, you should fire them. And they were talking to Bill. And I really wanted to just laugh so loud and be like, but he can't fire them. They control the company now. So
it's funny you talking like this, watching things from afar, when you could watch things from near, Morris.
Oh, well, I'm going to watch things very up close and personal this Sunday.
IPW. There are a lot of things that could happen this Sunday. I'll be there.
They won't. Well, I don't know about nobody else's match.
I'm going to be doing a little Facebook Live commentary on a couple of matches. We're going to do an episode of the Power Hour at the conclusion. You might not want to do that episode, but we're going to do it.
Oh, I'd be damned. First of all, I'm going to do it.
You might be damned.
So let me just say this. No Coast? Really?
Don't go there, Red.
No Coast.
You know how I feel about No Coast.
Yeah, but Steve, name the third member.
DC Shaw.
No.
That was the third member at Rocket.
That's not.
Well, who's the third member then?
Somebody named Trey.
Oh, okay, Trey. Yeah, yep. Trey was at ringside with them when they imploded at Rocket Pro.
But they imploded.
Oh, it's kind of funny that No Coast is going through turbulence and they just happen to now meet up with the ARC.
All I'm saying is, again,
I want to
how long have Miles, Renee, and myself been a cohesive unit?
Entirely too long.
And how long have they been a unit?
A long time, very productively.
No, as a trio.
Oh, not very long.
Thank you.
That's fine.
See, understand, the difference is me.
That is the difference. But I want you to understand that if you, in any form or fashion, do what you did at the last IPW show to my friend and trainer, if you put your greasy, grimy ARC hands on that woman, I will forget that I'm a ticket taker and a commentator, and I will be mopping the floor with the urban sensation.
That'll never happen.
This is not
Steve.
This is not an ultimatum.
You lost a sixth grader. You didn't lose me. So when you get down to this weight, then maybe I'll consider. But until then,
you can run, but you can't hide.
Steve,
you touch her, you gone down.
Steve, how many people do I know, Steve? Think about it. All my friends have put you in trunks and threw you out. Do you really want to go there?
I am going to keep coming back when I need
Do
to.
I need to call Paragon? Do I need to call Flash? I mean, maybe we just need to get a semi and get rid of you totally.
Wait a minute. You can't call Flash. Flash ain't going to be there.
Flash is there when I need Flash.
Flash ain't going to be there. Flash wasn't the Rocket Pro.
But
he hired Ruthless Rocket Rivera.
But guess what? Is Flash still the Inter-County champion?
I don't know. He hasn't defended the damn thing.
Yes, he is.
Don't they take that away when you've gone like 90 days without defending shit?
No.
They should. I'm just saying.
Don't hate.
I love you.
Don't hate, Steve. Don't hate because you keep see, that's the problem. You put your trust in people like JPH. You put your trust in all these people like you did Gutter Brave, and you keep getting your heart broke. And Steve, what you should believe in has been in front of you the entire time. You deal with us on a constant basis. Actions, reactions, consequences, yet you don't want to embrace it. It is a monarch, it's a way of life, Steve. For every action, there's a reaction. And then you face the consequences by getting your heart broke.
You're right. There's a lot of truth in what you said. And I just want to hit you with a little truth. I love you. You know this. But there will come a day.
A day.
I won't always be in the trunk, C-Red. I've taken a lot of
in the back of the semi?
I've taken a lot of punishment, C-Red. I've had my ass kicked a number of times, but I keep coming back. And I'll be there at IPW watching you.
But here's the thing, Steve. You've had your butt beat by everybody, but I've never laid a hand on you. Have I?
You have.
Not the way I normally do, have I?
No.
And you saw what I did to Danger.
But I'm not Danger.
No, that just means I got to put a little bit more weight on you. That's all.
I'm not Danger.
So
I won't be drunk.
I make people tap. I make people go to sleep. So, Steve.
This is going to make Heather very excited. But the day you make me tap is the day I retire from this business.
Oh, shit. Let's get it on then. But I would do that because so many people count on you to commentate and ring announce and sweep up after the show. You know,
all good
sell
things.
tickets.
All good things come to an end, C-Red. All good things. Next week.
I'm not good. So
on this program, unfortunately, I will not be here. Which is Heather very happy, I'm sure.
Yes.
Rion.
It's the Rion and Red show.
R&R. But because Rion is not the most technically savvy guy, I have called in an old friend of mine.
Hey, stop. Hey, Rion, go back to the lady butt. Go back the other way. We don't want to make noise, Rion. Go the other way. The other way. Yeah, her. Yeah. Ah. Fooey. You messed up the whole ending to the show.
Next week, I will have a very special replacement for myself that will handle a lot of the technical duties for Rion and for you.
Why?
And your guest will be the Masked Marauder from Powell Entertainment.
Oh, okay.
It's a lucha. It's been a while. I don't think we've ever had a lucha performer on this show.
No, we haven't. And they're from Powell, so that's a bonus.
Next week, Power Hour goes Pow Lucha. I won't be here, so no conflict of interest. But the person I've brought in is a big fan of yours.
Well, that's no shot. Everybody's a big fan of C-Red. Everybody loves Red.
He had a little message. He said, I will see you next Tuesday, Che Rojo.
No, not him. No. Can we get Primo Loco? Can we get El Dragon? Anybody? Is Rey Mysterio busy next Tuesday?
We'll see if we can get Ray and Dominic in here.
Yeah,
on behalf of the Urban Sensation, C Red, on behalf of our man on the street, Rian Skill, our good friend Vito Thomaselli. What?
Rian, say goodbye.
Say goodbye, Rian.
What?
Say goodbye.
The show's over.
Oh, bye everybody. Have a good one. Bye. What am I doing?
Rian, don't miss IPW this Sunday.
Okay, it's fine. I'll be there. We got to do some recap stuff anyway, so that's fine.
But don't forget the Power Hour, the special IPW recap show after the show.
Oh, for real? Like for real?
It's going to be great.
For real.
For real.
Oh. Okay. Cool. I'll be there.
For the real deal, Rian Skills, for the Urban Sensation, Red, I'm Steve Aaron. They will see you next week. I will see you June 7th when our guest on that day is promoter extraordinaire John Bullard. We'll see you guys. Have a good night, great week, and we'll catch you on the flip. Good night.